everyone, welcome back to DaVinci Guitar. We're excited to have you all here with us for our very first lesson. Well, what is the first lesson going to be on? It's our first ever lesson at DaVinci Guitar. It has to be something really, really important. And it is. Today we're going to be discussing the major chords and how we can play them in all the various inversion forms. So let's go to the root note A, which is basically the root note we want to stay on in DaVinci Guitar, at least for the beginning lessons that we have here. So if we start on this root note A, we have to first think about what forms an A major chord. An A major chord, any major chord really, is formed off of a root, a third, and a fifth out of the major scale. You take the first note, you take the third note, you take the fifth note, and you simply play those together, and that's a chord. That's a major chord. Now, inversions simply mean taking that root note. Now, we know right here we have the A root note, but to invert the chord, you have all those notes still there. You have the A, the C sharp, and the E, except you change that root note and make it a different note out of the chord. We'll explain more when we get up the board right here. But first, we need to learn our various forms. The first form we want to learn is that first root position, and it's the form that leads to third inversion. So Jim and I are going to demonstrate here. It's this form right here. Right there. And again, we're starting this root note A. You have an A, a C sharp, and an E. Now, we're going to go to our second root form, that basic root that most of you all probably know, which is that traditional bar chord that you see. And again, we want to start on root note A, and as Jim and I are going to demonstrate, right here, A, C sharp, and E. Now, earlier I talked about inverting the forms. So to go to our first inversion form, we're going to want to go to the third note of the scale, and the third note of the scale is a C sharp. Now, we want to make that our first inversion root. So we're going to go ahead and put that as our new root to the chord and use this form. This is a first inversion form that works for any chord when you simply take the third note of the scale and make it the new root note of your chord. Lastly, we want to go to our second inversion form. The second inversion form is simply going to mean we're going to take the fifth note of the scale, that E in the key of A, and we're going to make that our new root, and that produces a second inversion chord. This is the form you can use anytime you're playing a second inversion chord. Simply take the fifth note of the scale, make it the new root, and you have a second inversion chord right there. Perfect. Those are the various four forms that you need to know when playing any major chord. Now, I'm going to turn it over to Jim, who's going to give you all a helpful demonstration.
Thanks, Abigail. Well, what we're doing is we're working with the root, the third, and the fifth, and we're looking on all the different inversions. And I want to give you an exercise to just practice the form of the inversions. That's all these are, is they're just chord forms. So like she said, the first form is the A, and then you're going to go to the next A. Then we're going to start on the C sharp, which is the third of the chord. And then we're going to go to the E and play second inversion. Now, it's good to learn how to play it up the board, but the main thing you need to do is to be able to play it on one note, all the forms. So I'm going to do that, and this is a great practice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my A chord on the A, and I'm going to play my A 4 times. Then I'm going to go to the next A and play it 4 times. Now I'm going to play my first inversion on the A 4 times. Notice the chord changed. And then I'm going to play the second inversion on the A note. And the chord changed again. Now the exercise that I want to show you is that you should be able to do it 4 beats, 3 beats, 2 beats, and 1 beat. And I'm going to demonstrate that. 4, 4, 4, 4. Now we're going to do 3 beats. 1, 2, 3, 1. Now we're going to do 2 beats. And then we want to get to be able to do 1 beat. So we want to be able to go. And that's how we practice inversions. Abigail?
Perfect. Well, that was super helpful. Thank you, Jim. We hope this lesson was helpful for you all in understanding the various inversion forms that you can play. Let us know how you were able to apply this to your own playing in the comments below. We'd love to interact with all of you. Make sure to check out our website and our Patreon page. You can get even more of this kind of content right on there. Thanks for watching DaVinci Guitar.